What a beautiful day. It's 23 degrees. I just couldn't stay home in this weather. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm making this video not only for you, but also for myself too. I hope that by the end of this video, I'm going to be able to find an answer if I wanted to stay with my Nikon system or I'd like to switch to Panasonic. Let's get started. It all began with the Panasonic G100D, a tiny micro four thirds camera. I bought it as an impulse buy when I had a look at the spec and I saw how big of an EVF it had. I thought I would have a look at the micro four thirds system if it could replace my full frame system. As I got familiar with the different features and options Panasonic offered in their mirrorless cameras, I have to admit I started to like them. And also it got clear to me how much I like the image quality of my full frame system. So micro four thirds is not gonna replace it. But the seed was planted that Panasonic makes good cameras. How I got to this that I want to switch system. There are several reasons for it, but none of them is strong enough alone to justify a switch. But together, maybe. Or at least this is what I'm telling to convince myself. Reason number one, I want an everyday carry camera. I want to have a camera which is almost always with me, so I could shoot more. The Nikon Z5 Mark II is simply just too big to carry around all the time. The Panasonic G100D was almost there, but I set up a criteria for myself. My everyday carry camera should also be my camera for creating videos. And unfortunately, the Panasonic G100D doesn't have stabilization, and also its 4K footage is cropped. Reason number two, my camera bags are heavy. My landscape photography kit weighs circa 3.5 kilograms. That is 2 camera bodies and a couple of lenses, plus the accessories and the backpack itself. And I also have 2 tripods. That is altogether around 10 kilograms, which is a lot to carry around. So every bit of weight saving is welcome. Also, when I'm traveling, I'm taking my Nikon Z5 Mark II camera body with the 24-200 travel zoom and a 40mm f2 prime lens. So it would be really good if the everyday carry kit would take over this role. Reason number three, saving money. I don't think we have to talk about it too much. Everyone would like to save some money, if possible. My Nikon photography kit is worth more than 5K. And I know it's all relative and we are all different. But for me, it feels a little bit too much. So why Panasonic? First, as I mentioned earlier, the seed was planted with the G100D. And except Panasonic, there would be only Sony or Canon if we think in full-frame mirrorless systems. But I came from Sony, and Canon never really grabbed my attention. Second, Panasonic has a camera which could be my two-in-one everyday carry and vlogging camera. I'll talk about it in a minute. And third one, Panasonic has some insanely good offers on their camera kits. As an everyday carry camera and also my vlogging camera for creating my videos, I would choose the Panasonic S9. It's quite a controversial little camera, and when it was released, I really disliked it. It doesn't have an electronic viewfinder, it has only electronic shutter, and it doesn't have a hot shoe, only a cold shoe. So first I thought Panasonic really missed something here. But then I started to use it, and I've been using it for more than 3 weeks now, almost every day. And I love it. There are some options and features in this camera which makes it a really great everyday carry camera. For example, it has IBIS, which can stabilize up to 6-7 stops. And also, it does have real-time LUT features. That means you can download your presets to the camera and you can select it and see live what they change on your camera settings. What camera do I need for landscape photography? I've been doing this for more than 15 years now, so it's kind of crystallized what I expect from a camera for landscape photography purposes. Number one priority is weather sealing. Fortunately, Panasonic cameras are famous of their weather sealing. Another important thing for me is the aspect ratios, what aspect ratios are available and how are they available. Luckily, Panasonic has a really good choice of aspect ratios available in their camera. And the most important thing is that they are non-destructive, which means if you select an aspect ratio, then later when you process your file in Photoshop or any other processing software, then you are able to modify that crop because the crop data is only stored as a metadata, so the raw file is always going to be available in full size. Another important thing is the menu system and how logical it is, how easy it is to use. And luckily, this is where Panasonic really shines. I absolutely love their menu system and the configurability of their cameras. And that was the first thing I noticed with the G100D camera. What about the autofocus? For landscape photography, autofocus is not really relevant. For me, a good single autofocus is enough. I don't use continuous autofocus at all. And there are times when I just simply switch to manual focus mode. So this is not a priority. So which is the camera I finally picked from the Panasonic lineup? This one is here, the Panasonic S5D. And the biggest factor, which I haven't mentioned yet, was the financial factor. I bought this camera in a kit, and if I deduct the price of the lenses it came with, then I got this camera approximately £470 with 5 years of Panasonic extended warranty. I think this is an unbeatable value. The Panasonic S5D has a 24 megapixel sensor. You can ask, why not something with more megapixels? In the past I used 42 megapixel sensors from Sony, and also I had the Nikon Z7 which had 45 megapixels. Although I find the photos coming out of these cameras beautiful, but I just realized I don't need that many megapixels. I don't print my images in large size, and mostly I post them on social media where people can look at them on their phones or in front of a monitor. So for me, 24 megapixel is more than enough. So what about the lenses? In the Nikon Z system, I am covered from 14mm focal length up to 400mm. So I was looking at covering the same range in the Panasonic system. I chose 3 lenses. All of them are from Panasonic's S line. For ultra-wide shots, I chose the 14 to 28mm macro lens. For a normal zoom, I chose the 20 to 60mm lens. And for telephoto, I picked the 70 to 300mm macro OES lens. I took a lot of test photos with the 3 lenses, and I have to say I'm really happy with the results I can achieve with these lenses. They perform beautifully on a 24 megapixel sensor. So what is the conclusion? In case I switched system, these would be the benefits. I could save about half a kilogram's weight in my backpack, as Panasonic's kit is a little bit less heavy. I could have an everyday carry camera, the Panasonic S9, which could also work as my vlogging camera for creating videos. I find that the lens lineup of Panasonic gives me a little bit extra. The ultra wide angle zoom has macro capability, which means I can get quite close to the subject, and that opens up a lot of new perspective. The normal zoom starts from 20mm focal length, which is a little bit more than the usual 24mm. The 70 to 300mm telezoom lens has also macro capability. It has a magnification ratio of 0.5 times, and also it has a built-in optical stabilization system. That one can work together with the camera's sensor stabilization, giving about 6.5 stops stabilization. With the switch, I could save about £2,000. This is a lot of money. From this money, I could go to my usual Glencoe photo trip to Scotland 3 times. Panasonic is kind of an underdog in this game. I have no problem with Nikon, but it looks like what's important for me are all there from Panasonic for significantly less money. And that's why I decided I was going to switch. So bye-bye Nikon, and hello Panasonic. Thank you ever so much for watching, and may the light be with you all.